Good morning. It is Motivation Station with Rose and Sanjay. Rose, good morning to you.
Hello, Sanjay.
How are you? I see you're rocking the hoodie already.
Oh
What is
my
going on? You like it?
God.
Is the size
So
good?
I
I
wanna
don't remember what
thank
size
you.
I bought, but to be
This
honest,
is my size.
perfect. All right,
I first of all I want to say thank you so much
of course.
for this beautiful present. I did not expect this,
Mm,
and with
cheers to that.
the way it's integrated, I was like, oh my God, I want to cheers. And the best thing about this tumbler, it stays hot for 3 hours and stays cold for nine.
My thing more favorite than this, and because I'm very bad at holding stuff, when it's too hot, you know how it's like annoying or hard to hold like a cup or mug or whatever.
Yes.
Like the way this is, it's just like you can put whatever hot in here, and then you could just hold it as normal. Yeah, exactly. I have to top off right now because mine didn't
Yeah,
slide
me
as
too.
easily. But is yours black too? Is the
Uh,
thing,
yeah,
or is it
yeah.
clear? It's black.
It's like
Oh,
a black
okay.
clear,
I didn't even look at mine because it
and
was
it's
like
a
dark.
BBA free, guys.
Yeah.
We are starting off January 2026 with a beautiful gear. Look at this
Yeah.
hoodie is so warm,
It is
so
nice.
warm, and
I
it's very light.
I
What I like
have
about
to
this, it's light and warm.
the little. I'm gonna make some small changes, nothing big, but for
And
me,
the way
the motivation station part is
everything,
perfect. Yeah, I like that, and like I like the hoodie.
yeah.
Um, the QR code for me is a little too big on the back. I gotta I gotta edit that because the thing is like it'll scan, but you need to get some extremely good lighting for it to scan, you know. But
Okay.
I wore it to work like when I first got it when Josh my neighbor made the
Thank
merch.
you,
So
Josh. Josh, this is
yeah, no, it's on fire.
ah,
Um,
it is on fire.
and I wore it to work. I don't think anybody scanned that at work, but then like they saw me wearing the hoodie and they're like, "Oh, what is that?" So I started to explain to them. I'm like, "Oh, I do a podcast with a friend," and they're like, "Wow, that's awesome." There's only a few people there, but I'm probably gonna wear the hoodie again, and see if people do scan it because I think one of my friends did scan it. I don't know if you looked at anything, but I think he was
Ah,
just like testing the scan. But
somebody
we'll get.
scanned it, and I don't remember if they went somewhere or not, but they did scan it.
It
But
should. I gotta double check it, but it should go to like a link tree that takes you to like our Facebook page, Spotify,
oh, okay.
YouTube. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it has like a little banner and things like that.
I'm gonna scan it today. I'm like, why did I even check it? I'm like,
Yeah, no,
okay.
it took a lot of effort for me to scan it because I put it across my bed and I needed really good lighting to scan it. But I'm happy. Like yeah, I'm happy.
It's
It's
definitely my
comfortable.
size. It's very light. It's very warm. I like the way he did the sign
Mm,
because hi Morgan, because motivated. It's not like a one wash and it's gonna come off.
yeah,
Obviously, try not to dry it, but
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
way the way this integrated, it's just like, guys, you want one,
yeah.
you do, you do.
I'm gonna work on it throughout the year because I want to perfect it. I'm actually working on one more surprise that should be ready by next week. More for the podcast, but I'm working with
Morgan,
somebody on it, and it's coming out really, really well. So I'm looking forward to it.
it is so amazing, Morgan.
But oh well, first of all, Morgan, I hope you can hear me as well. I know I asked her on Discord. I said, hey, just let me know if you can't hear me. But
Oh
anyway,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how
Okay.
have you been? How's your week?
What a beautiful. My tree's done. Out.
Oh, my tree's still up. I'm doing it today. You know what's funny? I thought I had a long weekend coming up because it's MLK Day on Monday, but my
Uh huh.
work is still open. So I was like, oh no, Monday was the day I was gonna take down my tree,
Oh.
but I'll take it down today. But
Yeah. So I got my last wish from the
mm,
tree. It's exciting and a couple of exciting opportunities coming my way. So making decisions on that. It might be
so
closer to a life changing opportunity. So definitely because I took a nice break,
hmm
right?
hmm
I still had my cleaning gigs and stuff like that. I still have that, which is amazing. However, it's time to focus on some revenues, on some goal achievements and some living in a dream, not just a dream. That's
Hmm.
what I'm focused on. So it's time to get gears up and start rolling towards that area.
Yeah,
How
of
about
course.
you?
I
How was
mean, I mean,
this year?
I forgot who was. Oh yeah, you know, because I did meet up with Gina today. Not today,
Ah!
but recently, and we were just talking about it, and we were like,
Hmm.
just even having the right attitude is an improvement. Like, we were talking about, like, all the things in life that happen, and I think that's why I labeled today's episode, life's unexpected turns isn't always bad, or I forgot
Hmm.
exactly how I worded it,
Yeah.
but what I mean by that is simply sometimes things in life don't go our way, and there's things about that, right? So you can either take it as a hit and then, like, stay down, or you can take it as a hit and just get up and try again or be stronger, whatever it may be. And we were just talking about how, you know um I talked about more of how I felt that I was not in control of a lot of things in my life and my situation. So even, like, the things I want to do for motivation station, for things I want to do for myself, for my family, I was just like, man, I'm not making it happen. This is just too hard for me because I'm not in control of anything. But then when I kind of switched my thinking, as we talked a little bit more, I started realizing, I was like, you know what? I don't have control in situations, but I do have control in, like, other situations, Like, I
Hmm.
actually have a lot
Hmm.
more control than I thought. And, I was telling her how work was hard, and there's a lot going on. But in my mental, I could either take it two ways. Like, this is too hard for me and I can't do it, or you know what? I can only do what I can do, and that's the best I'll do. And when I started taking that high road, I started panicking less. I started stressing less. Like, I was like, if this is beyond my control, it's beyond my control. No one is yelling at me for my work. I'm actually being praised for my work. I'm like, why am I always just looking at the wrong stuff? You know, like I said, life takes unexpected turns. I didn't expect to be here, but when I'm here now, like, there's a lot of gratitude from people that I work with, because they're like, we're happy that you're here. And and I'm looking forward to where things are going. Do I wish things were better? Of course. And I think, to be fair, everybody would wish that. Yeah, exactly, Morgan. It is what it is. Look
Cheers
forward,
to
not
that.
back. So
She can definitely hear you, which is a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah. And I agree with her, which is, it is what it is. You look forward, not back. So 100% there.
Yeah, for sure. Let's
But no, I'm
see.
happy for you, and you're in my prayers always, right? That 2026 things go right, things go our way. But even if they don't, we'll find the way back. That's the whole point of, it's like being on the highway. You miss your exit, that's fine. You take the next exit and you wrap around, right? And who knows? Maybe when you take the next exit, you might find something you don't expect, right?
For
Enjoy the
sure.
view even when you're lost.
Yes, for sure. I like that. I like that. Always did that. And it was recently on the 11th, today's 17th, 6 days ago, just not so long ago. It was 6 months since my mom left. And I can tell you that right now, I definitely, after doing all of the healing therapies and doing the tree, I did the second part of the unpacking. It definitely did help me to feel much better. Now I'm like, okay, it's still painful, but it's not as painful like it was.
Hmm.
Also, thank you for all the support, all everything that's helped me to step by step get there,
Hmm.
and just now I can look at her picture and be okay.
Yeah. No, I
Be
mean,
like, okay,
everyone has their time that they grieve, right? And everybody
so
grieves at a different pace,
definitely,
right? But the beauty of it is,
it's my
and
turn.
it's like, that grief for you has now turned into, growth, which is, a beautiful thing. And like, Gina and I were talking about, like, things that, like, there's a lot of things that happen in life that, like, trigger us, and we're always worried that we might not heal from those triggers, right? And I remember I was telling her the story of, like, my grandmother, like, I told her that I didn't cry when my grandmother had passed away.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then I told my friend James about like the whole situation, and then he was just like, oh, it's your grandma's way of protecting you. And then that's when I started crying. But like even when I was talking to Gina about it, like I could feel strength in knowing that like my grandmother still cares and she still loves me and she'll always be here with me, and instead of like being sad that she's gone, I'm actually
Yes.
grateful that she's still here, and with every path I take or every step I go through, that she's just behind me and supporting me the best way she can. And sometimes it's in the little ray of sunshine, sometimes it's you know a compliment from someone, unexpectedly, all the little things, they add up.
They
So
do.
we I started seeing more light in the day than the dark, if that makes sense, you know what I mean?
It does. It does. I agree with Morgan. She said every exit leads to motivation
Amen.
station.
Exactly. You know what? That
Wow.
Morgan. I'm gonna trademark that right now. I'm gonna put that on the back of the our hoodies. Every
For
exit leads to
sure.
motivation station. Amen. Yes, got you.
Yes. Yes.
I gotta get
Station for
some.
motivation.
I gotta get some merch out there with that. Um, but yeah. I mean, I'm happy that I think we're both. It's been, I
Yes.
think every week is like a tough week, but like honestly, when I look back, like it wasn't as tough as I think it is. But I think it's just because the way
I
that we
finished
think about things. Oh, what is
your
that?
head. I finished my headpiece that I have been speaking about. This is 15th century, my queen hat,
Wow,
and I created all of it from scratch.
that's beautiful.
So,
There you go. Yeah, now you have to wear that every day, every time.
yes,
It's beautiful. I like it. Is there is
yes,
there a is there like a whole outfit that kind of goes with that,
yes.
or oh, okay,
It
okay, okay.
it needs to like this is the back of it. Comes with the piece, and it comes with the dress, and it comes with the vest with the fur trim,
Mm,
and the vest usually is like all stitched with the gold yarn, obviously. But I'm gonna be looking into it where can I get um, something like that to complete the outfit. So every little thing definitely helps. Why am I showing you this piece that I've been working on the box of love to my inner child? And that's everything that's helping to everyone has something they co-op with, and always look for something good where you can find that can help you. And when you're taking that sharp turn, it's not always bad, as you said. It might be something a greater waiting for you.
yeah, I mean, unexpected, right? And there's a lot of beauty in that because, like I said, even throughout Gina and I started talking about like where we sat that day, like we are just sitting at like a little pub and just having a nice meal, nice drinks and stuff like that, and
That's right.
we were
Thank
simply
you, Lord.
like we were talking about how the past kind of did burn, how a lot of it was not like the best, right? But
Hmm.
like we literally sat there and came to a realization that we wouldn't be sitting exactly where we're sitting if it wasn't for everything that we experienced, the good, the bad, the ugly. It doesn't even matter. Like if all that hadn't happened, it could have even been the point that like even motivation station couldn't happen. We couldn't even be. I told Gina, I was like, when we first started the podcast, like you started like chatting, you started like watching us, and I think I started telling you, I was like, yo, who's this Gina person? Like this person's like fantastic, and then you're like, oh, they're in Jersey. I was like, wait, how did I never meet them if they're in Jersey? They're right here, right? So then we started making more of
Yes.
an effort to talk, and like we call each other time to time, and it's just so refreshing to catch up with her, and I think she also appreciates just being able to have somebody to talk to locally. And I told her, I was like, listen, if you ever want to just go out, because I love eating and drinking, as you well know. I told her like, hey, just hit me up. I'll pick you up. We'll go out. We'll have a good time. So I was like, all this couldn't have happened if it wasn't for everything that happened, right? Um, and then like today we have a returning guest that life went one way and then life went another way, and I know, I mean, I don't know obviously too much in detail or anything like that per se, but I'm looking forward to seeing where he's at and seeing how he's taking it, and if whatever we want to talk about we'll talk about, and hopefully we can shed some light if light needs to be shed, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yes. We have David here with us today. David, we are
Oh,
welcoming you to Motivation Station,
Ah,
Station for Motivation, where you can share your passion, mission, and just share with the
welcome.
world.
Welcome back,
well,
David.
thank you for having me. I was
Of
like
course.
talking to Rose, and I was like, oh, I was like I can see like, and I'll see you guys post, and like I'll come through from time to time, and I'm like, I'm like maybe I was like maybe it's time. Like so much as I think, what was the last time I was here? Like I don't
Last
know,
year for
like
your
eight
birthday.
last year or
I
like
was gonna
eight
say
months
it was
ago,
like
maybe.
it was comfortably half a season ago, which was about half a year ago. So yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
it's
It's been a
like
while.
That was
everything.
last
I
year,
was
too.
again, I went and I watched it like maybe a few months ago, maybe like 4 months ago, just because like I'm like, okay, like what the hell was I talking about on this thing? I was like, and I was like, I pretty much stand by everything, like, for the most part. I was like, whatever I said, I'm like, that's what I how I felt and was going through in that moment. So I
Mm.
think, I don't know if at that time was Rose was the was when I was at that house in South Amboy,
Yes.
where was that fit was the rest of the family still there at that point when we did this, or were they already gone? They were already gone, I think, because I think the house
Yes.
was,
Are you
yeah.
talking about when we did
So
the
Yes.
episode, like the
yeah,
group?
I think that it was like, I think that they had just left or something.
Oh, because I think
I,
I do remember at one point you were talking to someone off camera. I don't know if
Oh,
that's.
that was my ex. Well, now my
Oh,
soon, he's not my ex-husband yet, but
okay.
we're heading like we're I'm actually like getting used to calling him like my ex-husband, which like
Things
I
did
don't.
We'll get through it.
took
Yeah, yeah.
turns. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the. I mean, yeah, I was living with his fam. Like me and his family, like we got a house together because I wanted him to be closer with his, with his, but like his children, because like they just seem to have like just like a strange relationship, and I just didn't realize at the time that and like I didn't realize how deep the resentment they had with him went, and I was
Mm.
totally unequipped to try and like mend this like 20 something year of resentment. Like I was like, there's no way I'm going to come in here, I'm like just trying to build these people's confidence. I'm not trying to like speak bad about other people and like what they do with their choices, but I'm like, hey, like maybe, maybe my my way of saying stuff comes off like very like I'm trying to like be controlling, when in reality like I'm just trying to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
um but yeah, I'm like, so I was trying to like, trying to build their confidence up, like because like I could tell their parents just never, like, and they're like, oh, we look at you as like a second father. You're like, I'm just going to be honest, and Rose knows this. Like they would be like, we look at you more like a father. Feel like you've been there more for us, like in these past couple years than our real dad. Like we look at, and it's just like it's sad to it's sad to hear that, and to like to know that like, oh, like maybe wasn't true, or maybe it was only true when they were getting like their egos fed. You know, I don't know. I can't like speak for them. Like, like
You did what you could, and it's already
yeah,
in a
yeah.
beautiful
And
path.
yeah, so now I'm thinking, okay, all right, we're gonna go in further, like by ourselves, like without like, was kind of cutting off like just toxic anybody. It doesn't, like, if people are toxic in your life, like it just doesn't matter. You could be my mama. Like you gotta
Yeah.
go. I'm sorry. And
Yeah.
It's
I don't know how
important
you
who's
guys feel
around
about
you.
that.
Yes.
No, no.
Yes.
Listen, like, cause I know, like, you remind me
Cheers to
of
that.
like I've been put in positions where like you don't. It's not like an obligation for you to try to heal a part of someone else. It's not an obligation for you to like have to repair something that's not yours, right? I think personally that
Yeah,
you're just a good-natured person, right? Even from when I met you before,
for the
even now,
most part.
to be quite honest with you, from what I met you before to what I see now, I see growth. you know. And
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
sorry
That's
that
what a lot of people are saying.
life doesn't always go the way that we want it to go, obviously, right? But
So
I don't
true.
think
Mm-mm.
I don't think you should be what's the word I'm looking for? I don't think you should feel disappointed, right? That maybe it didn't go your way, or
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean, I'm proud of you, man. Like, I mean, it's a tough
Thank you.
situation to talk about. And just like Rose and I were talking about before, like, when she was talking about her mother, or feeling about her mother, it would always
Oh
like kind
yeah,
of bring up swelling feelings, being sad and stuff. But now it's kind of like, nah, my mom's watching over me, and like now I'm
dude, she's
confident
your
I can do
angel.
this. Yeah.
That's your angel, like that. Like we don't just. This is where I always said, and I've always said it. Like I tell this to everybody. This is we're renting this. Like this
Yeah.
means nothing. Like this is for rent. Like we're just here to experience whatever Like I don't know. Like I can't sit there and I'm not gonna talk about. Um, everyone has their own belief system, and I totally respect everyone's belief system. But my personal belief, is that that we're here just like we were put into this body, but we're not this body. Like we are in here. And when this is gone, this is just in a different form. So, however, like, and I've lost, I've understand like losing a parent, and I know losing a mom is probably a little bit different than losing a father, just depending on relationships, like depending on like how whatever the relationship was. But it's that maternal figure, definitely. That's a huge difference. But I look at everyone as like I pray to all my like I've lost a lot of people in my life, and I'm like they're still here. I still get signs. A song will come on, something I'll look at, and it'll just be like, and it's so weird, and it'll happen. It's not like the movies, or sometimes it just depends. Sometimes it is a little like literal,
Mm.
like and that what's the word I'm looking for? Not when something coincidental, like
Mm.
it may seem like that, but
Synchrony.
it's
Hmm.
true. Yeah, yeah, something like that works too. So I'm like I was listening to you guys, obviously, like and I was just like nodding, and like 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 finger waving, and I agreed with like a lot of the stuff you guys were saying, and this like it's true. This year is it's just everyone is done.
Yeah.
Everyone is done. Everyone is like waking up. Everyone is waking up and just realizing like, why are we can't you can't live your life for somebody else. You can't live your life for somebody else. Like you're just gonna have to do it for like it doesn't matter what anybody else says or does, if they like you or not. Like this, I'm sorry, there is no more trying to. I'm not going to sit there and try to make you feel comfortable. Like, like I'm done doing that. If you don't feel comfortable naturally, I mean, I'm not going to make that situation worse, but I'm not going unless it is like, like my job, like, one of my jobs was,
Mm.
being a drug and alcohol counselor. And like my job was taking, I think I was doing that last time, like when I would take them out on the adventures and stuff like that. That's different, like when it comes, because that's like part of your job. But like if it's just like willy-nilly, like you're at a family party, you're at a restaurant, and you get these people, they're very, you get these like deep feelings of energy when you walk into a room. There are people like that, and
Mm.
it's like, oh, this is, I'm not gonna, if it's, before I would be like, all right, like I'll sit there and try and give it a go and see, maybe if the vibe is off right away, I'm good. Whether it's people, places, it doesn't matter. It
No,
really
Yes,
doesn't.
life is short.
Yeah,
I think the best thing I
Different
can
things.
relate
it's
that to,
short.
and like I was talking to Gina about it, and it's like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, I think people are hitting the point and understanding like this main concept that I love to say is like, don't light yourself on fire to keep others warm, right? So
Yeah,
I started to come to an
I love
understanding
that.
that, and like for me, the understanding is also the same thing because it's funny because like literally when I sat with Gina the other night and had dinner, it felt like an episode of Motivation Station to me. But we literally talked about how like there's people that we have known for ages. Like I've almost known people for over 2 decades, right? And I feel like I knew everything about them. I knew like how they feel, how they are. And I remember I had an argument with one of those friends once, and they just told me out of nowhere that like the things I had done in the past had hurt them. And I was like, but we've been like this for over a few
Yeah, they're
decades
telling
now,
you
right?
now,
And I'm
like
like, why
we
are you?
should have.
And then they're like, well, I didn't think you'd understand. I'm like, but you can't make that judgment about I won't understand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe he felt the same way, that he knew everything about me, and now we're at a moot standpoint, not really fully knowing each other, right? And like now I don't feel. I mean, he's still a brother to me. Like I'm very close with him, but we're not as close as we used to be. Because now I drew a line. Because I'm like, you know what? I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, I gotta respect my own mind, right?
yeah, your boundaries, like, and boundaries go for
Yeah.
everybody. Everyone has their own.
I think for the
Yeah.
longest time in my life, I've always blurred the boundary, but now I'm like, nah, I'm setting it straight. Because like if I'm in a position, like you said, David, that if I'm not comfortable, I'm not comfortable. I don't have to justify why I don't feel comfortable. I'm just out,
Yeah.
And also like to the matter of like even knowing people over some time, right? I've known people for a lot less time with a lot more deeper connections, right?
It doesn't. Yeah.
Time is not really relevant to your connection to the person. So at least for
No.
me, I mean, I won't say that for everybody, but like there's people I've met that I've only known for like 3, 4, 5 years, and I've told them darker secrets than a lot of the people I'm very close with. Like I've had, I think I mentioned in a podcast like some time ago that I got in an accident back in like 2022, 2023, somewhere around there, right? And I was at a very low point in life. Like I was actually like, if this accident took my life, I wouldn't care. Like that's how low I was in my life, right? And
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, and I never really told anybody. I never really told anyone. Like when I told my wife and things like that. But one day I was hanging out with my friend because I was like, hey man, I just need a night out. Can I hang out and watch movies with you? Came over, we hung out in his basement, we were watching movies, and after the movie we just talked. We talked for like 3 hours. But in that conversation, I was telling him that like, dude, like I almost didn't care if I died in that accident. And then he started breaking down and he started crying because he didn't know how to react. He didn't know how to.
Yeah, sometimes.
And it scared me. And it's scary because like we've been friends for over 2 decades, right? But we've never been intimate. We've never been like close to where we share like.
You never broke it down for each other.
So then I hit a point that like, all right, well now I know I can't go this deep with this person because I think it just scared them, right? It put them in a state that they weren't, which is fine. I'm not blaming him for anything. Like, we're still solid friends, and like nothing had changed there. I just knew that I couldn't be that close.
You felt like it got morbid, like it was too morbid, like
it was.
Maybe
he just,
like, I mean, even though to me,
no.
I've been told that like, oh, you're being like, oh, you're ruining the vibe, or like, you're ruining the vibe, like you're being really morbid. I'm like, oh,
no. For him, it
just
wasn't
being myself.
It wasn't so much that. It was that he didn't know how to react, right? So, like whenever I was sad when we were younger, right, and I knew this guy since like middle school, going to like high school and stuff like that, right? Whenever I was feeling down, we would just distract ourselves, right? So if I was feeling down, he'd be like, hey man, come over, let's play some video games. Hey man, let's go out, grab a bite to eat, let's go get a beer, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, so that's great.
Which is great. Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Helps the time pass.
Well, that and like it just kind of helps you forget, He's a type of person that like if we don't have to talk about it, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about something better. Let's talk about something more fun, stuff like that. So he's always been that person, and still we're that, right? But when we hit a point where like he didn't know how to talk through this, and not everybody knows how to talk through things, right? So I didn't put him on the spot. I just told him, I honestly just told him like, thanks for listening. Like sometimes I don't need a response. I don't need like you to say what should I do next. I don't need anything like that. Sometimes I just want somebody to listen to my sorrows at that point, right?
Yeah.
So if anything, I think it made our bond stronger. But now I know, like I'm not gonna break down and be like, I'm gonna talk like this and expect an answer out of you or anything like that. It was nothing like that. But now I know that it might be a little too intense for him, and that's fine. We have our other ways that we bond and get.
You tested those waters, but I mean,
honestly, I was just vulnerable. I didn't even test it. I was just in that state, and then when it put him in that position, I was like, I didn't mean to make you feel uncomfortable. And he's like, nah, man, I don't know what to say. I'm not happy you're here. Is all he said to me, and I was like, that's enough. That's enough to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
some people don't know, like some people. Go ahead, Rose.
Yeah, sorry, Rose.
Sometimes it's more. than what you. Sometimes just the letting it
Sometimes
out
that
and
presence
someone's
is
listening, that's
it,
all that matters.
just that
That
We
presence
can
being
you
there
care. The
just
person
is
that's sitting
perfect.
there and care and listening and just giving you a hug.
Crying with you or
Like
whatever. Yeah.
that
just a hug.
just that
That
we all
20-second hug that always does the magic.
I'm the one of the biggest loners. I love to be alone. I don't care. I'm bored and it'll come and
Yeah.
go, but like I love to be alone. Like sometimes, but it's I'm a human being, so we still need like you were like just piggybacking off what you said, like it was just you didn't even really necessarily need a response. It was just good to kind of like let some stuff out that was kind of in the vault or like locked up in the vault,
Right.
and just having somebody there like
Release.
truly listening. You've really like because truly listening, and giving you a safe space to speak your feelings and your what you've been through.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like we are meant like sometimes like I say this like unfortunate, but we are meant to want to, all animals will speak, we are meant to want to connect or
Yeah.
want to speak, like even if it doesn't even have to be verbal. Like I mean, for Christ's sake, people are blind and deaf,
Right.
and they live their lives, not to, I'm just saying
Yeah, yeah, I
that
know.
like it's, yeah, like we it's like it's an inevitable thing that we need human connection. And I hate that. I hate that. I'm
It's
like, I just want myself, like, I
it
have
You
lovely
could go hug
people
a
in my life.
tree.
I
I'll go hug a
Also
honestly
damn
a
tree,
very
my damn kitty cat, right?
hugging a tree is a
I
huge,
love my fat boy.
huge
I didn't
therapy
realize he is a fat boy, but I love him
as
too.
well.
My
He
fat
looks like
boy.
a
I
big
love my
loaf of
fat
bread.
boy.
Yeah, yeah.
I love my fat boy.
Oh,
So I got,
Loaf of bread.
it's
I
funny.
go,
It's funny that you say that, right? Because about the whole loner thing. Because I feel like I'm in the same boat, right? And like what I was talking about, intense friendships or intense bonds. So like I said, I met up with Gina, and I've told stuff to Gina because we were in such a close emotional state that I told her certain things about how dark things got. And I don't think I've said that to anyone, including my wife. No, sorry, there's only one person that I've said that to, and it's like my ultimate friend that I've known the longest. His name is Jazz,
Gina
and
is in the
yeah, we all
house.
have one of those. We all have one of those, and I mean, if you're
yeah.
lucky, but yeah, it's important too.
But he was like the only one I told, and like he's been like my longest friend. But then outside of that, I told Gina like when we had gone out to eat,
Huh.
and she's like, I do not. I would have never guessed. I would have never thought this way of you and things like that. And I was like honest. I was like, I was risking being vulnerable, which is essentially what we do, right?
Sister Gina, she's in the house.
When yeah, hey Gina, hello,
Oh,
scooching
hi,
inside
Gina.
quietly, all good. But like like I agree with you, David. Like sometimes I find solitude in being alone, and I'd rather do that,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's better to be in no company, no company than the wrong company, right?
Somebody that's by themselves knows who, pardon, knows who they are.
Mm,
It's impossible. You're with yourself all the time, and sometimes it's like, sometimes it's like, I put away the phone, I just do myself, whatever self-care I do, my meal,
yeah,
like Rose was saying. I was like, oh, she made her vintage breakfast or whatever, and I was like, oh, I'm jealous I didn't get to make mine. It's just those little routines,
Yes,
like
I've been
it
on that.
doesn't,
Vintage
yeah, it
breakfast
doesn't
every
involve maybe a
Saturday.
little music or something, but like sometimes, like if we didn't have, like me, I'm like, if we didn't have like this technology, which is such a blessing and such a curse at the same time, like it's
yeah,
just double-edged sword. But I'm like, oh, this gives me such like I'm able, while I'm bored, I'm able to learn.
mm,
Like I'm able to read while I'm
mm,
bored. Like think about it, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe a little bit getting there. You didn't have, you couldn't just download this like this and it be right in front of you. Like, you had to go out, like even for movies, you had to have that movie no matter what. Now we have that instant gratification, and I think that is also like kind of working its way to like people don't understand that's like working its way into like other things, like real world stuff. And it's like, we unfortunately, the instant gratification doesn't come in like
It's
sometimes, but
it's like a dopamine hit, right? Because like I think we live in an age now that we don't look to grow into having that gratitude, or letting it come at a natural pace or slow pace, right? We
Yeah.
need
going for a
like
walk will give you a damn
but like you
dopamine
said,
hit.
Yeah.
like you said, it's that instant gratitude, right? So if I'm feeling bad and I need to pick me up, I go straight to my phone, and it hits you quick. Don't get me wrong, it hits you super quick, right? But it goes away just as quick too, right?
Yeah, you're kind of like you're searching for that next thing to like keep you engaged.
Yeah, sorry, I
At
think
least for
my
me.
Streamlabs is still doing that
I
thing.
definitely, yes. We have a Streamlabs spamming right now. Do
I'll
not message
I'll
abroad.
I'll fix it. I'll fix that later. But anyway,
That's all
yeah,
right.
no. So I think more than anything, like just I think in my past alone time, I didn't use it to be alone, if that makes sense. Like in my alone time, I didn't focus on me, right? Which I should have done. I was just
Yeah.
kind of like maybe I was like in the moment, but I really wasn't doing much. But now, like in my alone time, like I value it more than ever, right? Like like right now, especially being a father, and then like being
Yeah.
full-time worker, and then doing the podcast, and now I'm actually
Yeah.
helping another friend that I hope in the future I'll have him on the podcast. But he's trying to write his own, like he's written a few books. He's published a few
Mhm.
books. He's trying to get into some filming, and he was asking for my help for filming because he's like, "Oh yeah, like Sanjay, I know you do your podcast, and I also know you do some gaming filming, and you got into filming. So would you mind helping me?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." So now I'm finding myself giving myself to like more and more people, that now I have less time for myself. But not like that now, when I have time for myself, oh man, I like
Yeah.
own it. I do the best I can
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's been helping. And then at least I can say, David, that with what I started doing more and more, especially with this podcast, like meeting people, getting to know people and stuff like that, I think the fact that I was a loner became like a thing that I wanted less and less, right? And it took time. It took time to get there, but then now it's like I don't actually, not that I don't want to be alone, but like I like spending time with people, because like I've come to learn that like I like talking to people. I like getting to know them. I like stuff like that.
But it depends on the people. Like look up whenever you have a chance, or any, like there's a couple people that I follow, and they like completely, they're like, they don't have anybody in their lives, and they're like, I've never been happier. They're like,
Yeah.
I've never been making more, like I'm able to do whatever I want. And people are sitting there like, well then why are you online? Why are you online? Why are you like, sharing? She's just like, just in case there's somebody else out there like me that needs to hear that it's okay. It's not that it's okay. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I just felt that. Like, yeah, I'm like, I totally felt that. Because
That is,
I'm
yeah.
No, but I was gonna say, like, that's the beautiful part, because like we were all at a point that
To
we
love your
weren't-
own company, that is a beautiful part.
like
It is.
Some people take it, oh, I'm lonely. Some people like,
I
oh
don't
yes,
ever feel
I
that
am
emotion.
lonely.
I don't ever feel
Why?
that. I don't feel jealousy or lonely. It's very, very. I'm human. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
sorry, Sanjay, go ahead.
No. I was just saying that I forgot what I was gonna say now. But it was along the lines of,
Yes.
even meeting like the wrong people will still steer you in the right direction. You know what I mean? Like you'll know like the type of people you don't want to meet anymore, right? But the thing is, you still have to risk it, right? So one day I also hope to have my ultimate longest friend on my podcast too, named Jazz. But Jazz, he always said to me, especially from like a young age, he was just like, no risk, no reward. And he's absolutely right. Like if
True.
you can't expect results from something you didn't do anything for, right? So like sometimes you really put yourself out there. And what has that done for me? I've met you, I've met Rose, I've met Morgan, I've met Gina, because without me trying to even willing to put myself out there, none of this would even be here, right? So now more so,
you have to move.
Now more so, especially with the motivation station and things that we do here, I'm just trying to like do it more and more. And of course I'm gonna hit walls, I'm gonna hit people that I don't get along with, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You know what happens? You just go another direction and find someone else, and I'm telling you, sometimes like Morgan, I've found some amazing friendships, and I've known Morgan down this path because I put a post up on Reddit to meet some friends, and I had a lot of people respond. I had a lot of people ghost me, but I'll
Yes.
never. I still make fun of Morgan for it because in my post I asked like 5 6 questions in the post, right? And for whatever reason, Morgan answered each one of those questions. So instead of like people responding to me and summarizing like my post in a response, Morgan took the time to answer each question from the post and add, like the fact that, she's looking for friends and stuff like that too. And then literally ever since that day, there may be a few days that we don't talk, whether it's traveling or we're just busy with life, right? But Morgan's probably been the most consistent person that I've said good morning to in my entire life. Like every morning,
Wow.
and it's not even morning for her. She's in Paris right now, and it's like afternoon. But she'll text me like she texted me good morning this morning, saying I'm ready for the big show. Like I might be eating sushi,
Oh,
but
that's
I'm here, I'm
nice.
ready, But
That's
like,
nice.
but like, I would have
When people
never.
go,
I would have never like experienced that if I never decided to take the risk. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
when people go, no, when people ghost, it is. I'm not gonna say ever. It's 90% on there. It's mostly about them. Like they're ghosting because of how they feel, not about something that even somebody particular. It's because they are not they're not emotionally intelligent. And hey, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm the most emotionally intelligent person in the world. That's just not true.
Yes.
But, I'm still working on that myself. But it's because people go ghost because they don't know how to, like, they literally don't know how to communicate. That's why
Mm,
they're doing that. So they're like, they'll just and I've done it a few times, but I felt it when it was just I knew this was going to be a completely a useless relationship. I'm
mm.
like, there's nothing like there, or I could see their intentions were
Take the
somewhere
good
different,
good out of it
but
and just looking
yeah,
forward
sometimes.
for
Yeah,
what you want to
it's
do in
nothing personal
2026.
sometimes, but so yeah, most
Yes.
of the times most of the times
Like
people that
what
ghost,
we
it's
spoke
about.
about with you before. You said you want to become a
Sorry.
star, you want to open your own channel on YouTube, you want to
I
do
want
all
to.
that.
The reason I even
It's
want to do
time to
that,
do
yeah,
everything you
I
want
want
to
to
do
start.
and stop pleasing other people.
I've been
That's what
practicing
we
filming
do. We please
myself.
so much other people that we forget about ourselves.
Yeah, because it's the
We need
it's
to remember who we are and what we want, our needs, our boundaries. And as Sanjay said, alone time is even if it's 15 minutes, but it's so quality because in those 15 minutes, I can do so much for myself.
yeah,
Even
yeah.
that
You can,
taking that bath with salt and aromatherapy, even
yeah.
that
Those
having
15
the
minutes could
vintage
control the rest of
breakfast.
the day.
Yes, the quiet 15 minutes in the morning is the best time. Meditation time, 15 minutes
The,
just to
you're,
yourself. It's
yeah, I
so
would call you and be
crucial.
like, it's medication. It's
A
meditation
gratitude
time. Call you
practices.
back.
Yes, like I created a vintage
It's no
breakfast
respect.
last year. I remember one of the podcasts I said I'm going to create vintage breakfast. You know what? Since then, every Saturday before show, I put on 3040's music on YouTube and I have a
Ooh, I would be
breakfast
jamming out to
with
some of that.
my
I love
and
some of that
yes,
stuff.
and I have a breakfast with
So,
myself because this is I'm taking myself on a date
yeah,
before show.
that's
I
how
want to feel
everything. Yeah,
great. I want to
yeah,
vibrate before the show because
yeah,
I want to bring vibration to the show. I
yeah.
don't want to be like,
You've never
we
been
can
a
be, we
negative.
can be, we can be
You
all, we
have
can be all.
never
Believe
been a
me,
negative
I've cried,
person.
I've yelled, I was everything on the show, but this is a show, right? So,
Yeah, yeah,
and
of
I love
course.
that because I truly can be myself. I don't have to apologize for who I am
Period.
because I know who I am and this is what I bring to the table. And you should be okay of doing that everywhere you go
Know who you are and
without
deliver
putting
that
your
at all times.
insecurities, without putting your I'm not comfortable. You should be comfortable. You should not care what other people think of you because this is your life and you living it once. You're not going to have another life.
Not that you're gonna remember.
So
Not
why
that you'll
not
remember if that's the
you're
case. If it's
why not if you're wasting your own time, waste it on yourself with the good people, with the beautiful conversations, sitting in this beautiful room, having people from all over the world watching us.
yeah, anybody.
All
That's
right.
what I'm saying. Like like it just kind of like gets my my putting like my foot in the water, trying to like do the YouTube
It
thing
is
because
so
I don't want to be
amazing.
pigeonholed.
Yes, yes. You know, it's like Gina said, I find it very disrespectful of people to do that to others. How about have some courage and some respect and just saying what you feel? It's not that hard. Yes,
Yeah.
but a lot of people nowadays are very sensitive. Oh, you can't tell me
You're in the work because people. The reason is because they've been getting medals for
Vibrate.
doing
If
nothing and
if I
getting.
don't vibrate with you, we're not vibrating. It's okay. I'm
Let's
not going
continue.
to be here like, oh, we're not vibrating. It's okay.
Yeah.
They're not in your vibration level. You don't have to say anything. You can just bring their vibration a little up. That's what I usually do,
Yeah.
right? I'm not gonna put you down and be like, oh, you're so bad. No, I'm gonna make sure when you leave my space, you're gonna remember me. You're gonna walk away and say, oh, that felt good
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
around her. And when you're around me, it's a free judge space room. You can be anything because I will find your holes and be like, you know what, you're great, but maybe you should work on this because this is what's a little bit not making you full effect.
But the thing is sometimes people they can't, like you said before, they're too sensitive. But if somebody is your friend or somebody's in your life that you care about, that should be an open season to be able to say the truth and say,
Yes,
I don't want yes people around me. Because what is that?
yes.
Yes people around me, no one's growing by that. That's just, that's literally doing absolutely nothing for you. Somebody that's just like sitting there, your hype man,
Yes,
like the two delusional, whatever. They always say that, and they're like, oh yeah, like yeah, because it's just they either don't have an identity of, they don't know themselves, they don't have an identity of their own, so they just agree with whatever, or they don't have the balls to be like, oh, I want to, like I think, Sanji was saying earlier, like, his, again, I don't mean this about, his friend, I don't know him personally, but I'm saying, he never, even tried to just like say, hey, this is what I feel, because he already figured out in his head what the answer would be, or he just thought it wouldn't be a good
we
idea, or
should
whatever the
not
case.
think for others. That's the one
No.
thing I've learned a couple of years ago. I'm not thinking for others. So I want to say what I feel, what I see, and if you feel some
Can
type of
move.
way, tell me right here so we can manage that off. Because I don't know what's in your brain. I don't know what you're thinking
No.
about. Maybe you think about completely something totally off that I'm thinking about. And it's good sometimes to have a smack in the face. I call it slap, smack in the face. One person can
Yeah.
tell, like, listen, the way you did this was kind of like not good by me,
Yeah, we've never, me and
and
you.
it's just a good slap in the face, and I'll be like, okay, I was wrong. I admit that. Maybe I needed to realize that I was wrong. And that's why it's a good thing to, right now, whatever we had, the relationships, the people that were, as you said, like maybe toxic, they fell off your life. And maybe it's a good turn. Right now, we are turning
Yeah,
the corner. And the corner, it might be have all of the things that we needed it. Right now, you're gonna focus on being a star, as you said. You're gonna create your
well,
channel. You
the
want to
reason
do
I
all
want
the things
to,
that you want to do that you never done. Why
sorry, my
not do
charger.
it for yourself?
Don't mind my malfunctions, guys. So, it's just my charger. So the reason, like, it's not even. I just feel like I have some. We're gonna go. Wait,
That's okay.
You
You
can
can do
if you
whatever you
can I
change
want.
it,
do?
I can. Yeah, you can. I just have to
Can I
change
do
it.
that?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
you're fine.
sorry.
No, you're
I
good.
just
You can
like,
do
I
that.
didn't know. Like, I had it on my little like, I have like a ring light right here, so I was trying to have that there.
We're good. We're good.
DoorDash freaking stuff. But what I was gonna say was, like, the one thing about me and Rose is we've never ever been. Am I okay? Like, I'm
Yes, you're
No,
good.
clear.
you're good. You're fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. So the one thing about Rose, like, I could say is, like, we've always had disagreements, but we've never fought, like, or been disrespectful, or like been like or like hit low blows, or no. It's like, all right, that's how you think, okay, and this is what I think. It's fine, I don't want to agree with everybody. That'd be so boring. Like, the the thing is, like Rose said it before, like what trying to think or trying to know what other people think, or something along those lines. I didn't. I'm
Yes.
saying I'm
Don't
not
think what other people think of you because it
exactly.
might be wrong.
You might be wrong, and that's like with my situation with my now soon to
Previous.
be ex-husband
Hmm.
previous. It's like I'm like, okay, I thought that I was going to be safe in this relationship no matter the highs I went or the lows I went. And clearly that just it wasn't the case. Like, this is somebody that is like also not like that's not going to tell you that something bothered them. They're going to wait until things build up and then bam, blow it all up on you, and you're like, I didn't even know it. I didn't even knew any of this. And then I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it was my
Hmm.
decision. It wasn't my
Yes.
decision. I would never get married to go get a divorce. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to sit there and care about the only thing that I cannot deal with is is when someone is lying. When someone is lying or playing me for a fool, then I can't get like that is different. But if someone's honest, it really doesn't, as long as there's I can't imagine that I
People
couldn't
do
get
lie.
people lie.
Unfortunately, many
And
people
I don't
lie.
judge somebody based off one thing, two, three. Your character doesn't necessarily revolve around choices that you make. Yes, it might have influences, but there's been people who've made some really fucked up choices, and I'm sure they're really, really good people, you know? Besides obviously, there are certain things that, obviously you can't come back from. But if you didn't, if for me, just me personally, you guys
Yes.
obviously have your own opinion. If you did not rape anybody, if you did not kill anybody, if you did not take advantage of, like, not to get, like, but if you didn't go to that place where which would get you locked up for a lifetime, if you didn't do any of those things, you can always be redeemable. Always. It doesn't matter what you did as long as you did not do that. Like, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, people might even feel differently about that, like, they might have, I mean, um, people have to do things for certain reasons, but I would never just judge somebody off something that they did in their life and be like, oh, they've done this, or listen to other people. I'm like, I didn't talk to that person. I don't know their side. Like, my current situation is like, I had to, for it to make sense for me being separated, I had to be completely villainized. And I play with it. I'm like, all right, cool. Somebody got to be the villain. I'm like, somebody got to take the brunt. But I'm like, and nobody feels like the villain. I think I might have said this in the last time we talked. Like, nobody feels like the villain in their own story. I've done very villainous things. I have. And I thought, having, being married, that, like, I'd be able to grow and learn, and be able to be better. And I feel like I don't know if Rose said this or
You can still
somebody.
all this. You can still do all of these things.
Oh, I feel to get to where I am now. My therapist says that there's a weight lifted off of me. She's known me for 2 years. She's been my therapist for 2 years. She said, David, there's just something, like, she's like, the weight is lifted off you. The toxic family. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't want to be like nasty and rude and be like calling people, but they were toxic to me. To me personally. Like, I don't know, like, I'm not saying they're toxic people and they're everyday to but to me, and I don't even think sometimes people, they're not gonna be like, oh, I'm a toxic person. Nobody's gonna, like, sometimes, like, people don't want to admit their flaws, but I feel like I tried. I gave it my best go, no matter how much I wanted it, and how much I tried to make this person number one. I needed to make myself number one to make him number one. And I wasn't doing that. I was making him number one and me number two. And all his successes and all his stuff, I was like, yeah, right there. Like, cheering them on, a lot of very what's the word I'm looking for? When somebody does something like without thinking that much or putting too much thought into it, when they're making like very just certain decisions like very quickly,
Spontaneous.
spontaneous, very being spontaneous. Very, I'm like, okay, like I'm gonna be there, support him, going from job to job, going from this, I'm like, all right, whatever, we're moving here, moving there, doing all this, and I was along for the ride because this is what he wanted. And when it came to me, then I started completely just not like there was nothing, I lost my identity, lost my friends. I mean, some of them for the better, but I've lost friends. I've lost my identity in being like, and I tried everything. Like I tried to bring whatever I could to the table at that point, tried being a good stepfather to his kids. I was like, so I brought everything, but sometimes people are, you don't think that their intentions, or they point, just to bring it all back, we do not know what other people are thinking. We don't, even if they tell us they're thinking this, we don't know if that's what they're really thinking. They could be lying.
Yeah.
It's one of the mistakes people do in relationship. They kind of get lost. As you say, lost identity. They just kind of get so comfortable of pleasing other person, which is nothing wrong with that. But while you're doing that, don't forget about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I
Because you're doing so much for the other person that you kind of like, the person gets used to that and like, oh, okay, that's what person does.
Everything's about me. Like, yeah, and like I'm number one.
And then in
This
the
is
end, you're like, who am I? I invested so much time and energy in this relationship, but who am I? What did I do for
I
myself?
didn't know who I
But
knew
it's your responsibility to take your own life into your own hands and be like, okay, we're doing this
Yeah,
together. Not
yeah,
just you by yourself, not just me by myself. We are a team because this is a family now.
yeah, yeah. I think we both felt like we were both
And of
on.
course, Sanjay can say that because he's full family.
Yeah.
Everything that
I
he
mean,
does, it's a
so I
family.
mean, besides the fact that I was just trying to fix visuals and the damn
Yeah.
plot.
Oh,
That's why I was
sorry.
like,
No,
let
you're
me,
good. I was listening. I was listening the
me,
entire time, and the funny thing is, I had so much
let
to
me
say, and now it's
take
like,
it. Yeah.
okay, I'll try to remember what I had to say. But like the
Yes,
few
Gina, I agree with that.
the few takeaways that like even Gina, Morgan, and you guys were all talking about is that sometimes you just got to be with people who get it, right? And there's some people who just don't, and that's fine, right? So
It
I
is.
think I think more than anything in life, I've learned that if the people don't get it, that's fine. Maybe they're just not meant to be in your life. Maybe they're not meant
Yeah.
to be in your chapter. That's fine. If they choose not to get it, if they choose like, hey, I'm wrong, or I'm right, you're wrong, like, okay, cool, fantastic, just go do your thing, and
Yeah.
I pray for the best for you, right? But I'm just not
Yeah.
going to be around. And I think in your situation now is that there's things that you had done, right? And of course it was happy moments and like places that you felt you fit in because of the way like you are as a person, right? And as much as you appease to their side, like you remind me of me when it was like I thought I knew who I was because of the actions I did for everybody else and their response to me for doing that action, right? So I've always been a very selfless, giving person, and I'm like that.
Yeah, same.
The only way that I can say I'm Sanjay, like I'm a good person, is through my actions of doing stuff for other people, and that's it. Oh yeah, you're good. I'll wait till
Get out.
you good.
I'm listening to everything you're saying.
Oh
My
yeah, I
cat was
thought you like
meowing. He's
your
like,
headset
meow,
died.
meow.
No.
No.
So yeah, no. So I identified myself as someone who, like, I can only be me if I can give something to you, and that's it, right? And I kind of felt that feeling, when you spoke about like everything you just went through now. But like, here's the thing, and even Gina can recollect on this too when we met up, that like this doesn't all define who you are as a person. And
Mm-mm.
although you learn this lesson a little bit later, right? Maybe you have to go through some shit to learn that lesson, Some
Yeah.
people learn it earlier, some people learn it later, And I was telling
But-
Gina, like, it doesn't matter when you do it, but as long as you learn, like, that's the beautiful part about life, right? You can be at almost the end of your road and just be like, you know what? I fucked up. I was wrong. But you realized it. and you
Yeah,
still,
I'm here. I'm listening.
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
sorry.
no. So like, that was my takeaway. So I think more than anything, and I think this relates to even like stuff like karma, right? I have learned to give up, not
Karma,
wishing.
nothing's more real than karma.
No, for me
Sorry.
it's for me it's no for me it's the opposite, and me and
Okay.
Rose talked about this, and I don't mean it in a negative way. All I mean is simply that,
Sure.
like, I'm gonna do good for the sake of doing good, not for like I expect maybe one day something good will happen
No,
to me.
that's not what you're. No,
Yeah,
that's not what you're
well,
supposed. It's
well,
just natural.
that that and
It's
then
just
like
the energy that
the
does that.
the other thing is, like, if someone does something bad to me, right, I'm not gonna say karma's gonna come back for you, right? And here's the thing, I can say this, and the reason I want to say this comfortably is because that means, if how we talked about before, that some people act a certain way and then they
Which
get
is
mad at you.
blessing,
Well,
and the
not just that,
blessings
but
come
like,
back to you.
if someone is like mad at, like, if somebody blames, like you guys were talking about people ghosting people, right? And like, it's like, why don't you just say that this won't work and leave, right? And the thing is,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
the problem is that the person who ghosts you, maybe they don't know how to interpret how to leave you. Maybe they
exactly.
they they, they were in positions, right? But it's not on me to be like, why can't you tell me that you want to leave? Like, I shouldn't be saying
Yeah.
that to you. You're in your own boat, you're living your own life, you're going through your own trauma, your own struggles, right? So if you're gonna go, I'll admit to you guys, that used to bother me too. But now, all I do now, I just wish them well. I'm like, I hope you find the peace you're looking for. That's it, right?
Yeah, that's
So
true.
like, I mean,
That's growth.
I'm not
That's
saying karma in
growth
a bad
right
way.
there.
I'm
Yeah,
not saying
That's a
karma.
growth.
I'm not saying that's karma in a bad way or a good way. You guys can think whatever you want in that sense. So we don't have to agree,
Sure.
right? But my
I don't
thing was
even
always,
use that word.
my,
Yeah.
my biggest thing is that, like, bad shit happens all the time. Bad people do bad things
Oh, yeah.
all the time, right? And you know what? Sometimes they make it, right? But fuck it. That is what it is, but that's not gonna have to do anything with me. If it does involve me, then I'm gonna switch it around and do what I can to, do right or do whatever, right? But like, if, like, it's like watching people, man, I don't know a good prime example to give per se, but like, if somebody does something bad
Be
to me,
hypothetic.
yeah, like, somebody does something bad to me, if they hurt me, right? Like, I don't expect any sort of apology. I don't expect, like, one day, oh, I hope something happens to you to make you realize how I felt, right? Like, when I let that part of me go, it's hard for me to, like, think ill about people at all. And don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
there's some really effed up people out there, right? And what I do
Yes.
now is just like, I hope you find peace. I hope you find something that
Yeah.
makes you understand that life is beautiful, that life is a good thing, right? And I think it's along the lines, because
It's
when
as
I talk,
beautiful as you make it.
yeah, but the thing is, like, you have the power to make it that way, right? But
You
even
have
if
to be happy.
but
You
if
have to choose to be
you'll
happy.
you'll meet people in your life who don't care about anything but themselves, right? And the thing
Yeah,
is,
the narcs. The
yeah, but the thing
narcs.
is, the thing with that is the same thing you said,
That's fine.
the same thing that, like, you said about toxic, right? That you don't necessarily say that the people that you departed from your life recently, right? They're not necessarily toxic people. They were just
Yes.
toxic to you, right?
Exactly.
Same
Exactly.
thing with the people that are bad people. They're not. I mean, well, they could be bad,
What
right? I'm not saying they're
defines,
not,
like, yeah, like I
but like,
said, that's why
they're
I said
just
like like
the
what defines a bad person? Like,
so, like,
really,
like,
what?
someone who, like, hurts other people, like, like somebody
Yeah,
who, like, knowingly takes, like a horrible example, right? Like somebody who, like, scams people and takes their money, right? Really fucked up people, right?
yeah, and has
But
no conscience about it.
conscious and stuff like that, right? And I'll be honest, I lived out a life that I'm like, I hope somebody scams you and takes all your money, and then you're in the same fucking boat. Like, I was at points in my life that I was like that, but I grew out of that, and I'm telling you, more now than anything, that's more important than hoping that they get a taste of their own
To the bad
medicine.
people.
Because honestly, you'll heal more by wishing them well, even though they don't mean well. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Than
I
than
totally
telling,
agree with
like,
all
fuck you, I
that.
hope you,
That's true.
yeah, you know what I mean?
And I
And
like
it's not
Gina
easy.
said, yes, I like Gina said, everyone falls from the grace sometimes. I'm not perfect, so how can I expect perfection from anyone else?
And then to that one, that was the other thing, right?
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
the
Yeah,
beautiful
thank you.
the beautiful part to Gina saying that is just that, right? She realized that in herself. She saw her own imperfections. Some people don't see that. right? But it's also not in our, I'll say,
I
duty
think
in
it
a
has a
very
lot
light
to do
way.
with people are raised
No, no,
too.
but well,
It
that too,
could
right?
be.
But what I mean is,
Can't
it's
blame
not.
it all on that, but it
But
can
what,
start.
but what I'm saying is, like,
But
it's
you
not
grow
in
every day.
our,
Yeah.
it's not in our life duty, right? It's not in our life duty to ourselves, right? To like point that out in others, or like tell them like, hey, you're in the wrong, right? It's all about self journey. It's all about self discovery, right? When people come to me with problems and they want to be healed from it, right? I don't give them an answer unless I like, I ask them. I'm like, do you want advice? Do you want to vent, or do you want
Or
to
do you want the
work
honest?
through
Like,
this? You
yeah.
know? And I normally have them work through their own responses, right? I'll point you out if you're the bad guy in the situation, right? And people have hated me for that shit. I've got like, not yelled at, but people were like, Sanjay, I don't want to
Yeah, they
hear
don't want to
that.
hear it.
But the thing is, the thing is
Damn.
this: I tell them like, but it's the truth, and I'm not
You
trying to
gotta
say.
hear the truth. You
I
gotta
tell them,
hear
I'm like,
it.
I'm not
Part.
trying to. The thing is, like, I tell them, I'm like, I'm not trying to say this to hurt you. I'm trying to say this so you
No,
understand.
it's not personal.
Hurting is part of the process. Getting hurt is part of the process, right? But
Yeah.
the thing
Yeah.
is,
Slap in the face.
but the
Yeah.
thing is, like, like, it's what you do with that hurt. You can sit there and be like, I don't deserve this hurt, or I don't want this hurt, and stuff like that, right?
Insult.
But I pointed out because I'm like, this hurt is gonna get you through this. That even now, David, like you said, now you can listen to a song. Now you can go to place, you can see places, right? And not get triggered by something
Oh,
that might have hurt
I
you.
would, the place that me and my husband, my ex-husband, well, soon to be, because when the place, I went in there with my mom and went and had like, I had a drink, I had some dinner, and I did that. So I'm like, like, I'm not gonna pass a place, and it's not gonna, because like, I'm like, I'm not gonna pass a place and be like, oh, like I can't even go in there even though they have some of my favorite food and they have really good like, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna not watch a show or not because I used to do. No, I don't. I honestly, I don't care about anything that I don't delete anything, everything. I've never deleted anything. Like that sounds something, I don't delete anything, everything. I want to, like, it's because I want to go back and see it. If somebody's deleting literally everything, there's a reason for that. Like, why are you deleting everything? Like, why are you,
You had good
hey,
times. You had something to
yeah.
remember.
And I
Yeah.
respect that. I respect
Yeah.
those times.
Wishing blessings.
Yeah, and even I actually sent him a message. I don't know, I think I read it to you yesterday, Rose, right?
Yes.
Didn't I read it to you? And it was
Yes.
just basically like just like, oh, it was just stating the fact, but the thing is where I went even wrong in the letter. We obviously, okay, when you go through a divorce, there's money tied into the relationship. There's financial stuff tied into the relationship. There are bills tied into that. And I don't want to, like, delve too deep personally. And because I don't, I don't want to,
That's fine.
just go there.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
there's things that what's the best way to put this? He left and thought it was just like a relationship and forgot all the logistics and all the things that you have, like, didn't realize. I'm like, okay, if anything happens to the other person's partner, that person either receives or either could get, like, say if the person is in debt, right? Say if they're in debt millions of dollars, that person's husband or wife, and they're not even together, is now inheriting all that debt.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that, like, you can't just sit there and be like, oh, I'm running. You can't, unfortunately, when you get married, I don't want to really talk to this dude. I really don't. I'm like, okay, maybe we could be friends, right? But I don't, based on me, I could do that. But I don't know if he's even capable of it, because he can't communicate. Like, you can't, like, there's just certain things that I'm just like, no, like, I am not, like, I'm sorry, like, I felt like a trial subscription.
Yeah.
Like a human embodiment of a marriage trial subscription that
Yes.
that doesn't exist. You got married, so you are responsible for at least making things amicable. I don't hate, I don't have 1 ounce of hate for this dude. I would still protect him the way I would to this very day, and I'm doing as I'm doing it, like still doing it right now. But like, and to a fault, honestly, because I got none of that.
Yeah.
None of it. I was turned into like a fucking, double horn should be growing out of the sides of my freaking hat. Like my hat should be popping off. Like I think, that's why I'm wearing it, to hide them. It's not fit. Like, I just don't think that it's realistic. I don't think it's realistic. Like, I wouldn't sit there and think, for example, whenever if I'm not putting other people, but me and Rose have been friends with other couples. Like we used to be friends with other couples and hang out with them and go and whatever one of them was going through, or if someone's saying something, I'm like, okay, this is a two-way street.
Yeah.
Like this is a two-way thing. It's like, you feel like you're right, you feel like you're right. I go, or you feel like this person's wrong, and it's like you're both like, you're not getting to what really is the real issue. And I just would never sit there and be like, oh, like if so, like, for example, I have a good friend, I'm probably gonna send her this later. He's been in a relationship, and I'm gonna keep it
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
You're good.
Yeah, so she's been in a relationship for 20 years, and he has done a lot of things, like, where you would think, I'm her best friend, I would hate him. She wants to be with him, she loves him. The things he's did, okay, I'm not dating him, I don't have to sleep with him, I don't have to hang out with him unless, like, I'm with her or something, and so that's not even all the case. But I would never say something bad about him, or be like, oh, he's a piece of shit, he's this, he's that, oh, you should get a. I don't. That's who you want to be with. You're my friend, and I'm sure I don't know everything, but she also is not scared to be like, you know what, I did this too. He's not scared to be like, he's done this. You know what, I provoked him, and I did this. Or sometimes, but people can't do that. They go, they got to sit there, and they got to have. There are people that just have to have somebody to dislike, or somebody to have they have to have a common enemy to either bond. People bond over that shit. When they have a common enemy, that bonds people for the bonds.
Like evil is devil or something.
Yeah, it bonds people because they're coming together. One thing, me and Rose had a friend, and I would disagree with a lot of things. That this person did, but and I wouldn't co-sign it, and I wouldn't co-sign it, and they knew it. I was like, okay, well, I feel like this. I'm like, I'm always gonna have your back. I love you, but I'm like, this isn't like we're not gonna sit there and bond over hating everybody. Like, I'm just not gonna do that. Like, I don't hate this person. I don't know, but people do. They have. It's like a not a trauma bond, but they are bonding over a common enemy. Like a mother and a daughter, could hate a father, or and it makes them close to sit there and talk about how bad the father is, and they get close and close, and that's not really building a genuine. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
No, it makes sense. No, you're absolutely right. That, well, besides the fact that we're all at a point that we kind of maybe agree with that's kind of weird, right? That being able to dislike the same thing makes you bond. Yeah, which is fine. I did want to take a step back, because everything that you talked about it's fine if other people do it, but you don't do it. But that just shows your character, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I found respectful. That at least you realize that in your
Yeah.
character, right?
Growth.
Back
I
to
don't care. Yeah. Go ahead.
no,
Sorry.
no,
Go
no,
ahead,
sorry.
Sanjay.
And then a further step back was like you guys both said it, and I was like, I wanted to say something because I was like, I was like this, right? Because I didn't know how to deal with it, and at least now, maybe you guys will see in a different light that you guys mentioned. If you have a fight with someone or you have a fallout or breakup or whatever, right? You guys like, oh, we don't delete anything, we don't delete pictures, we don't do any of that, right? I did. I do it all the fucking time. When I was younger,
Yeah.
when if something fell out, but the biggest thing is because like not only did it trigger me every time I would see like a text, even if it was like something good, even if it was something that was like, oh, I love you or something
Yeah.
like that, right? And the thing is, and it was mainly, and I can say now, is because I just didn't know how to handle it. And like seeing it just made it worse and worse for me, so I had to get away from it. I have a thing that's
I
like
can respect
blind.
that too.
It's like
Good.
it's like blind fury, right? And I think it's the way my brain is wired because of the way I grew up, right? Is that like when I get upset, right, and there's a fight that happens, right, and like sometimes you say shit that you don't mean, right? You just kind of lash out,
That's
right?
true.
But
You
what
can.
happens to me outside of that is that when there's a fight that happens, I can't recollect the whole memory of the fight.
Yeah,
Like
you have
there's
your
moments that
own.
like
Yeah.
there's places in my head that shit just blanks out and I don't
Yeah, me
remember
too.
anything.
I
So
yeah,
and,
me too.
and and I think it has to be like a level of some sort of trauma that I had gone through, right?
Blacking it out.
Yeah, just like blacking
Yeah.
it out just so that it
Or
doesn't make
blocking.
it
Either or
yeah,
works.
so that it doesn't like make it worse for me, right? Now, of course, I gotta seek professional help. Of course, I gotta learn more about it and things like that. But I decided to work my way through it, and like now I think I finally hit a point that I'm able to see things and not get triggered by it. Like if I have a bad fallout with a friend, like yeah, it's like for example, I use Discord, right? And Discord has chats on the side, so if I stop talking to someone or they unfriend me, there's no point in keeping the chat there. I'm not deleting it. It's just like, all right, well, move this chat out of the way. But like now I'm not at a point that like, oh man, like I'm triggered by this, and I'm sad because of this or anything like that. But more than anything, and then maybe it's because the way I started to think, is that I actually just remember the good times. Even if these people are not in my life anymore, even if these people have long gone, right? I still try to remember the good stories, the fun times. And I'm just like, you know what? Maybe one day I'll meet somebody like this again. But even if I don't, at least I had these memories to go by, right? I don't think your mic's working.
Maybe it's a good thing. I'm just kidding.
Wow. That was a personal attack by Rose. No,
No,
I don't,
I'm
we don't
just
hear you.
kidding. But what you do is you unmute yourself on the screen.
Oh,
Yeah, because I was gonna say if you're using
Yeah.
your little headset thing and those died,
yeah, it went.
No, you're
Yes.
good.
But we're good now. You can hear me. It's
Yes.
clear.
Now we do.
Yes. Which
I
is
was. Go ahead, Sanjay.
No. So that's all I meant was just to relate to those things in
Sorry.
that sense. So like it's fun for me to say now because I guess I never bonded with people where I was like, what do you do when you like want to forget someone or forget something, right? I never asked that question to anyone ever, right? And I'm not gonna ask now in a sense, but like when you guys are like, we don't delete stuff, we don't do this, right? Like to me, looking outside in, to me is like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would you want to keep that? Originally, but now I'm like, I get
Sure.
it. Like, I get it now. Like I have a folder on my computer of people I've met in the past, people I either dated or just had like longtime friends. And I remember when I used to look at these pictures, I used to get sad and be like, damn, Now I'm just like, well, I hope they're doing well. Like, I don't talk to them,
Yeah.
but like, I like this picture.
The
Oh yeah, this
memory.
picture. They had a
But you
dog.
never know what'll happen. You
It's
never
a
know
small
down the
world.
line. And
Absolutely.
then you could come back together or
Yeah.
something like that, and then you've deleted all of your. I have lost so many. Like I never used to back up my phone, and I
Yeah.
never cared. Like, and I used to lose and break phones a lot, and I would. Me and Rose has been with me, some successful, some not. Like to a lot of we've been to like a lot of festivals, and we've done a lot of like adventurous stuff and shit like that. And all of those, like I've seen some of the people I admired, like, and I would have everything recorded, and we would all be having a good time. Those are all gone. Those are all gone because not because I deleted them, but because I didn't back up. So I'm like now I'm like I make sure I back up, but the point is like is that's even say if I'm not friends with this person or whatever, something ended in this great memory of with the person that's there, but the memory is good. I don't have to sit there and stare at it and reminisce and be like, oh, it could have been, or I don't do any of that shit.
Yeah.
But down the line, every ex I've ever been with, I always become friends with them. Always.
Well, like I said, this goes back to your character more than anything, and that's
Yeah.
why
It's
like
just
I
you.
mean, even from like when we first met, I was like, I like this guy, and like
Thank
now
you.
even the way that you present yourself, even the way that you are, right?
He's
Yeah,
also
you've
from
been
Jersey.
yeah, you've been through some yeah, I gotta catch up with people in Jersey. I say this all the time, and I finally met up with Gina, so David, you're on the list. But
Yeah.
but
He's
but
lived in
but,
Somerville.
but in general, what I mean is like
Wait.
when
Go
I
ahead,
say
go ahead.
no, yeah, sorry, I was like when I said that like I see growth, right? And I don't mean just growth in the sense of like I see you happy, I see you smiling, right? And
Yeah.
although divorce is on the table and all that shit is happening, right? Like that you're still able to uphold yourself because there's people who can't, right? That the growth that I'm talking about is the fact that you're learning, right? And
Yeah.
life is always a learning journey, and it's always going to be a learning journey. It doesn't matter if you're 20, it doesn't matter if you're 70. It's always
Yes.
a learning journey. And it's funny because like the more and more I got to know some people, like I was telling Gina, and I think Rose, I might have told you in the past too, like before Motivation Station came about, I had a dream of just going on Reddit and putting up a post like, hey, I want to meet someone for dinner. I don't care if you're a guy or girl, it doesn't matter. I just want to get to know you, right? Not intimately, not like, what turns you on, off, nothing like that. Just like what do you want out of this journey of life, right?
Just
And then
interested in.
yeah, and
just
it wasn't
interested
anything
in
I was gonna write down. It
you
wasn't
know,
anything I was gonna put up like as a review, like, hey, I met Alex, he's a dickhead. Like I wasn't gonna do anything like that,
yeah.
right? But it was just like a matter of just like meeting people and like getting to know them, right?
Yeah.
So Motivation Station came by and it's essentially doing the same thing. But I came to learn that there's people that I met that like, they're not open-minded. They're like, it's been like this for 50 years and it'll be like this for the
And
next
they're
50 years.
done. They're
And
done.
I'm like,
There's
that's
no.
fine.
You're not getting in there.
So like I think the only
Unless
thing
you're
that
agreeing.
came out of it for me was just like,
Fill it out.
well, no, for me it was just like, all right, well, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel, right? But I told him like the small thing like this, I was like, yeah, but did you expect to sit down with some random guy at your table and be able to talk like this? And I was like, no. I'm like, well, see, I'm like, you don't know what can happen. It's very unexpected. So in a little way, I did open up him up. Like, you're right. Maybe not everything is gonna go the same. Like, cause he told me routine every day. He gets up, gets his coffee, same cashier, sits at a table alone. No one bothers him, right? And the only reason I had bothered him was because I was like, my coffee was taking longer and I wanted somewhere to sit because my legs were exhausted. And I was like, hey, do you mind if I sit? And he's like, no, please. And I introduced myself. And you know why I did it? What I said I wanted to do on Reddit, someone did to me, right? So I went to Cape May with my family. I went to Cape May with my wife and my daughter. We're at a pizzeria. There's a bunch of like, I don't want to say Marines, but there's a bunch of like, kind of like
Service
army related
students.
people. Yeah. Like they all had the outfits, right? And there was like 20 of them. So a lot of tables were taken. So my wife, my kid, I'm sitting next to my kid. My wife's sitting across from me, and this elderly woman sits with us, right? Or she comes. She asked the table in front of
I
us.
love old people. I fucking love old people.
She asked
Some
the
of them.
table.
Some of them.
She asked the table in front of us first, right? And that table was just a father and a daughter, like an older daughter, right? And they're like, oh no, I'm sorry. And then she came and asked us, and I was like, yeah, I mean, we have a seat available. Come sit down. She introduced herself. She was a teacher, and she was just like, thank you for letting me sit here. And I was like, yeah, no problem. And I just felt like I wanted to talk, so I was like, "Are you?"
You can learn a lot from them older women.
Well, no,
learn a lot.
but not just that.
It doesn't matter, woman or man. You can learn a lot.
I was just like, but the thing is, we could have just sat there, been quiet. She could have just. We're at a pizza restaurant, right? She could have just had her pizza and dipped, right? She could have just wanted a place to sit, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
But I opened that door. I was like, so Linda, like her name was Linda. Sorry to put you on spot, Linda, but I don't think you'll. Maybe one day you'll watch a podcast. Who knows? But she sat with us, right? And she told me that she was a teacher, and I was like, "Are you a tourist? Do you And she's like, "No, I've been coming here for like 25 years, things like that." And we're talking a little bit, and she was like, "How about you guys?" And like, it was just like a fun conversation to have, right? And she was talking very kind to my daughter, and she was like, "Wow, your daughter's so like mature for her age. She talks well and things like that." And like, we had a good time. And she's like, thank you for letting me sit here. I was like, Linda, the pleasure's all mine. Like, it was nice to get to know you for like a little bit. And like the little excitement that I got from that conversation, I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to do when I wanted to post on Reddit. And like the thing is,
Yeah.
I never expected something like this to happen to me.
You were
I thought
you were manifesting it.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
came.
I thought it was always I was gonna be the one that's gonna stay with someone, right? So now that it actually happened, now I know if I go somewhere and I see someone sitting alone, I'd be like, hey, can I join you? Like, can I just sit for a little bit? And who knows? Who
Can I
knows?
piggyback?
Yeah, of course, please.
Yesterday I and I'm actually, because like there was this like cute bartender and I was hanging out with he was like eating off this woman's plate, and it was a bartender, and we sit at the bar, they serve food and drinks or whatever, and he just like came and ate off this woman's plate, and I'm like, what the fuck? She goes, that's my mom. And I was like, okay. I was like, oh, that's what we're doing? We're just going up to customer, and he's literally like, I could kind of tell that he might be, a little like that, maybe like me. Really adorable. Obviously, I'm not really into like guys that look young. Like, he looked like obviously he's over 21. I mean, I'm into like, guys either my age or older.
Mm,
But I'm like, he's so sweet, and I went there by myself. And my point in bringing it up was, I was sitting. There was somebody. I could tell that there was somebody sitting. There was only one really seat available, and I didn't want to. I was only going for, because I was getting food delivered, and I was only just going just to have like a nice drink, wind down from the week. I was very proud of myself. I started, working a lot again and stuff, and getting back into the groove. So I'm like, I'm gonna go have a nice little drink celebration. And I go, and I was like, hey, is this seat taken? And they were like, no, it's yours. And there was like a married couple, and I guess they were they were celebrating her birthday. And I was like, oh, you're an Aquarius. She was like, oh, my birthday's in a couple days. And I'm like, oh, you're an Aquarius. I was like, you're an Aquarius Capricorn cusp. I go, I'm an Aquarius Pisces cusp. So we sat there, and then there was this freaking macho man guy, good looking, Spanish guy, probably like myself. But like, I didn't know he was with anybody else or sitting there, but he was like, we were all just sitting there. None of us knew each other. They didn't know each other. I didn't know. And we just all were having and I just instantly like kind of like inserted myself in their conversation, like, because I knew that they didn't really know each other, and I was really feeling what the guy was saying. So I was like, I totally feel that. And
Sometimes
like,
you don't know where it's gonna go.
yeah, and we all sat there, and I know I called you afterwards, but I had such a nice talk with this woman who went through a divorce. So I guess it wasn't I guess that wasn't the bartender's father that she was with. Maybe, I mean, it could have been, but maybe it sounded like that was her second marriage or something. And
mm.
she was just like, giving me such great advice. And I didn't divulge all my personal, but I was just like, hey, I'm going through this. And it was and even before that, I was these two people, like, they were just like, it's just, when you're nice, you look good, it's just energy. People kind of could feel that energy and feel like an invitation to talk to you.
Mhm.
Because if you're sitting there like sitting there like this, like, puss face, like, if you're smiling, or like you just have, or you're just like, people feel that.
Posture.
Yeah, and
No,
exactly.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and it was just all strangers yesterday. And I was like, I don't know them, didn't exchange numbers with them, but I am gonna go. I'm like, you know what? The kid was like, I'm here set like 6 or 7 days a week, and I'm like, you know what? I'm probably gonna come back and just have. I'm like, they charged me like $7 for a damn double. I was like, I don't know if he did that was nice. Like sometimes like they're like that's like, a lot. I'm just gonna go there
A lot
later
more, yeah.
and just chill, like, and see where it goes. It could go nowhere, but I could meet a friend. It never, or it could go absolutely nowhere, or it could just stay what it is, and that's all okay too.
hey, no
But
risk, no reward, right? Like,
exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
happy about that. And like,
Thank
yeah,
you.
no, that's 100% the thing. Because I used to be that guy, right? I used to be that guy that I wouldn't look at anybody. I don't want to talk to anybody. I'll look like I want to talk to you, but then like I'm like, I don't know how to compose myself and stuff like that. Because I think there is a certain level of confidence you would need for that. So
Yeah,
like now
you do.
I'll maintain like eye contact. I'll smile. I'll nod. I'll do
Yeah, it's
whatever, right?
breaking the ice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like like I kind of put it out there, like, hey, if you want to talk, like, I'm here. If not, like, I'll say hi to you or whatever. And I think over time, I just that confidence just kind of grew and grew. So like now I feel more comfortable meeting
That's a
with
good
people.
thing.
Yeah.
That's a good
But
thing.
I think that's a beautiful thing for you. And like I said, like I think your character, your persona is just is very refreshing, and I think it's
Well,
something
thank you.
people deserve to see, right? And like you said, it could go somewhere, it might not, but listen, man, if you ever need a wingman, now that I know you're in Jersey, you hit me up. I love alcohol. We'll go
I
we'll
do
go out. We'll have a
too.
guy, we'll have a good guys
I
night
do
out. We'll have a good
too. I ain't
time.
gonna lie. I don't care. I know what's for me and what's not for me. Like, I took me a long time because like I was like I was like that was like another thing. Like I was like partying, but doing stuff that is not for me. There's some stuff that like I like to make memories. If you're just doing something, if I'm not doing something and it's not creating memories, then it's not for. It was like I'm just gonna be honest. I was partying and doing stuff that I was like, oh well, I don't do stuff all the time, so I'm not like some sort of an addict because
Yeah.
I don't do it all the time. But when I did do it, I wasn't myself.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't want to do anything to where and a lot of my family is like this, like where they don't like my grandpa, my grandma, they don't like to do something that's why. So like when I like even ask Rose, I didn't even know how to drink when I was like 20. I don't know, it was like when I was like 28. I didn't know how to drink. I didn't know like what because I didn't really drink a lot. So I'm like, oh yeah, do, and then I'm sitting there like sick for a day. Do you remember that, Rose? Do you remember? Like I got so sick. We went out. And I was like, I'm
Good
28.
times.
But
Great
people, it was a good
Good times.
time. It was a
Exactly.
good time. But I'm sitting there. We had all these plans the next day. And I'm like dead in my friend's bed. I didn't know how to like. So I kind of like.
Yes, and your
I,
birthday's coming
I
up.
Oh,
So
I'm
ooh.
so freaking excited for my birthday. Sorry guys, I'm just
his birthday's
35.
coming up. He's gonna be
35.
all 35.
Well, now that I
It's a
know,
Yeah.
good number.
like we're gonna have to go out. Like we're gonna have to
Let's
go
do
out.
it. I
We'll
would
figure it
love
out.
that.
Yeah.
Even if like I would
Yeah.
love. I'm celebrating. So like I'm gonna do like 3 celebrations. I'm an Aquarius. We are Aquarius people. We
I
just
get it.
Celebrate a lot.
I get
you
it.
know you guys know if you just dig into it. We think
Yeah.
we say it's Aquarius season. It's my birthday every single day.
Yeah.
Oh, Aquarius season. Actually, wait. What's
The
today?
season, the
17th?
season of the Aquarius, as I like to call it. Yep.
Yeah. This is the age of Aquarius, season of Aquarius, and I'm like I used to tell my mom every day in February is my birthday, and she's like she's like my best friend's an Aquarius, and he used to say the same thing. Like it's like oh it's February. They're like didn't we just go out for your birthday last week? I'm like it's February. I'm like I was born in
It's like we go for my birthday last week,
Yeah.
this week, and next
Yes,
week. Yep.
that's
I'm
what
gonna
I
take it down
usually
to
do.
three times.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something with my family. I'm gonna do something with a few friends, and then I'm gonna do something by myself.
Yeah.
Oh.
Absolutely. That
Yes,
sounds
why
fantastic.
not? Take yourself out.
And
I
This
think
is-
that's
this
the
I'm gonna buy
best thing
myself
you
a
could
birthday
do.
gift.
This is what I love, man.
Yeah.
This is what I like to hear. Because look, like I just love
Take
how
yourself
glowing
out.
you are, and
Thank you.
how much
1, 2, 3, 4.
you're appreciating life a lot.
I
and
was
despite
I
whatever. But
halted. I feel like, don't you feel like, Rose, that I'm kind of going like not backwards in the sense that like, but how I used to be before I got into because like I never was supposed to be in a relationship. Like I would always be Rose. I would be hanging out with some dude, and I'm like, Rose, I don't even know his name. I've been chilling with him for like 2 months. I don't care about that. I'm like, and people could think what they think, but that wasn't I wasn't there for that. I wasn't there to sit there and build a I have a weird thing with men. I have just a weird thing. I hate I don't know. Anyway, so
No, you're good.
It's a beautiful timing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. We're in the right track.
Yeah,
2026 looking
I was
so
gonna say,
amazing.
doesn't it feel like I'm going
Definitely
back
love your
to that?
radiance. Yes,
Yeah.
I love your radiance. I love your
Thank
growth. You definitely vibrate a lot.
You always used to tell me, I need your positive energy. Come to me. We'd be
Yes.
getting ready to go out, and you'd be like, I need you. Come here, your
Always
positive energy.
remember that you come first to yourself,
Yeah.
and
You-
your
you-
partner
Thank you guys
comes
again
next
for
to
having
you,
me
not
back. This was
under,
No,
not
no. Thank you for
above.
being here. I feel like there was a
Yes.
very positive experience,
And
right?
Yeah.
because like we didn't
Last time it
know.
was too.
Yeah,
Last
no,
time, like,
but
but this is so different. Like,
yeah,
I wasn't
exactly.
like,
It's like a different level of positivity, but not only that, it's a like Rose was saying, it's a level of growth. And I think what you're learning more than anything is that you're giving the most back to yourself, and you're seeing
period,
how the world around you is responding to that
Yes,
is
energy.
responding
You
to
know what I
it.
mean?
And I
yes.
just, yeah, go ahead, Rose.
Yeah, sorry, I
Your
didn't mean to cut that.
vibration definitely goes along, and the more higher your vibration, the more things happening for you. I want you to really look at your life as a whole and see what you really want to do and start doing it, because I know you can do
You
something
know
great
what
for
I
me.
want to do. I want my
Exactly, for
buildings. I
yourself.
want to own
You do.
buildings to help people.
Yes. So definitely that's something to look forward to.
I'll put more
Just
context.
put it all together
Yeah.
and start a little by little getting in that direction, putting yourself first. And when you have a partner, it's team, it's
It's like
together in
Rose, like
one
saying,
level, nobody above, nobody underneath.
no, you were saying, you're like,
Don't
oh, you want to
forget
be a
who
star.
you are.
You're like, you want to be a star. I'm like, I already like, I'm like undiscovered.
You're
Like, I
already a
already am a
star.
You're the
star. Like,
star in
I'm
your
just
own
You're a
in
star of
undiscovered.
your
YouTube right
The thing
yeah,
now.
there you
is,
go.
though, where
You're in the
it
middle right
comes
now.
from is not a selfish or a loving attention place.
You on
That's
TV
not
right
why.
now, so you're
That's not why I want
good.
that. I don't care. And that's nice, all the flowers and accolades. That's nice, cool. I want to help my grandparents.
Yeah.
I want to help people. I want to build, buy buildings and build homeless shelters and rehabs and youth centers for, like, people that it doesn't, you don't even have to be LGBT. You can be anything. Just ostracized and need, some a startup. I want to have these things, and like, I'm like, I don't want to. I was doing the work. I was working there. Someone that I used to be friends with, who I'm not. They used to, like, you're not. You need to be owning them, not working them. Like, you need to be owning them. And I'm like, I'm like, I agree. Like, so basically, why I want that is for the money to be able to help my, like,
Bring
give my,
back, give
give
back, give
give it
back
all
to the
back.
community.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally why I want it. And there's no, that is what is in my heart. There's no ands,
That's
ifs,
a
or
great,
buts. That's
great
it.
passion.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, well, I know I'm a big personality. I'm like, okay, I'm like, one day I'm gonna be able to get enough to where I'm like, I can make sure my grandparents are taken care of. That I can make sure that they have round care, that they, if they, when they get really really older, that they're never going to struggle, that they're, anybody in my family that's going through it, I could be able to help them, and any friend that's being able to struggle, I can help them. And I am not the pull the ladder up type. I leave the ladder down, because there are people out there that they get to where they're at and they pull that fucking ladder up and they're like, it's just me. That's you. It could just be you, and that's great too. And but you
You
can't
grow and
pull.
you bring others with you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. There you go. That's
Well,
it. Like, I
I
want
think
come up.
the beautiful part to all this is like you're definitely gonna manifest that your heart here, and it's
Oh,
mainly
I'm
because like
writing.
listen, I think one of the biggest things, and I know I keep bringing up Gina because like I feel like it was literally an episode of Motivation Station when I was hanging out with her in person, but I literally said the same thing. I'm like, the fact that your heart and soul are in the right place, right? Like that in itself is
That's
a
the magic.
it,
Sprinkle
it's
it.
is a milestone, right?
Yeah.
It's you're already at a point that you're like you want to help others for the nature of helping others. You don't want anything out of this per se. You just want to be able to give back to the life
It's
that gave
just
to
my.
you.
It's just a part of me. It's just like, I don't even give a fuck if you're. I don't, like I said, we were talking about, oh, good people, bad people. Like, I don't even give a shit. Like, at that point, once I'm able to, and I think the world was getting me ready for for what is next. I think the world was just getting me ready to make sure, when you get it, are you going to handle it? Because if
Yeah.
I got it, and if I got it before any other time, I probably would have just, like, I probably wouldn't have been able to handle it. That's just the truth. Now and going forward, I just have just nothing but positive
Gratitude.
feeling. Yeah, gratitude. And like, I'd rather be like this then
Now you're being truth. You're facing the truth
yes,
yourself.
I'm
You
not
know
within a
your truth.
marriage that is just that was gonna inevitably end. That I had no idea. I thought I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cut. I'm like, I have this thing. Like I'm not like I have this sense where I could sense what's kind of coming or what's gonna like. I don't want to like, sound like Looney Tune, but like I have certain senses, and I thought I knew that me and my husband would have a problem down the line, but I thought it was gonna happen when the success came. And I thought that it was gonna flip, and he wasn't gonna be able. Like I all through his successes, I've been there and I supported it, and I thought I wasn't going to receive that in reciprocation, and that was going to be our big problem.
Mm.
That wasn't how it worked, and that's how I was seeing it, and that's how I saw it. I was like, I knew that we were going to have this thing, but it had. I was like, he didn't even get to come on the ride with me. He
Yes.
didn't even get to see the ride. He didn't even get to. I'm like, I told him, I said, I'm going to
Looks like
see
all of
you.
my devices are dying right now.
It's
No,
all
you're
right,
good.
but no,
We're on the tail end
I'm
of it
almost
here.
done.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
almost done. This is after this. Yeah. But my I said to him, I said, I'm going to see you in a bar or in a like you're gonna be that freaking old man that we used to make fun of, and you're gonna have to pay these guys to even come and hang out with you, or you're gonna and I go and we used to, and I know that's sad, but it's the truth. I said, and I go, and he didn't deny it because he knew it was true too. And Rose, you're gonna be with me when we see him, and we're gonna buy him a
Don't
drink.
say that. Let's just wish everybody blessings.
No,
Let's
I'm not.
vibrate
No,
in
I'm not saying
he's
it's a
not
bad
wishing. Yeah,
thing.
he's not
Yes.
wishing him well. He's saying
I'm
he's
not
gonna
saying it's
be
a
there.
bad
Yes,
thing.
Yeah.
it's just
He likes
reality
the
that's
young
gonna happen.
guys, he likes young guys. If you have to pay for it, that's fine. I'm not saying it's a
Yes.
good thing
I'm
or a
not
bad thing.
downplaying
I'm
that.
just saying
I definitely want to wish you keep radiating the way
thank
you are.
you. Yeah, I
You're
wasn't.
focusing on good, doing good for no
Thank you, baby.
reason, and bring out all that radiance and keep working towards your dreams because they definitely the dreams that we need.
Bitch, you're coming
more.
along
We
for the
need
ride.
more.
You're
Yeah.
coming.
We
If
need.
I
Well,
go,
we're all
if I,
coming along. Yeah.
yeah, if I come up, if
We're all
I,
coming.
if,
The
yeah,
bus is coming. The motivation
exactly.
station
If
bus
I
is
come up,
coming. We
everyone
need the
comes up with
ride.
me. I
We
don't.
do. We need a bus.
Yeah.
I can work on that. So great idea. Let's have
Nah,
a bus.
but
Just
honestly,
stroll
like
around
it
with
was
that bus.
it
I would
was
love that.
it's great to
pleasure.
have you, right?
Thank you
I mean,
guys so much.
I'm happy that you're
Send
doing
Sanjay
well.
my stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, send me his number or whatever,
Yeah, my
so we can
stuff.
catch up. Yeah, but we'll definitely catch up. I'm proud of
Thank
you,
you
man. Like I'm
guys.
very happy that you're here, and we would love to have you again. We can talk about whatever we want to talk about
We'll
at
see
that
the
point.
progression and when things are because now now it's about money time. So
It's about
yeah.
success.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it's not gonna.
It is. It's
So
about
yeah,
All
oh
right,
yeah,
guys.
it's been so
All right.
long
Thank you
since
for
we
being
did
on
this. But
Motivation
cheers, yes,
Station.
yes,
Yes,
thank you.
Sanjay. All right,
And
guys.
we'll talk to you soon.
All right, how do I do? I know you guys have to finish. How do I do? I just leave.
I could drop. I could drop
Drop
it from the side.
me.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
bye
All right,
guys.
brother.
Have
Take
a
care.
good day. Stay safe.
Thank
You too.
you.
Bye.
All the love and prayers and success. Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers. This
Cheers,
was
mama.
Motivation Station. Yes. Station for
Oh man,
motivation.
that was fun.
So much
That was
energy. So much energy. I
but
love
that's
it.
the thing. So like I wasn't. I don't think anybody was really expecting that per se, because like I said, I know we talked about what was happening, but I'm happy to see that there's progression through it, and I agree that like no one goes through life expecting this to happen, right? No one goes through life like they had a game plan, right? They had a game plan. They had a dream. They had a passion they wanted to follow, and it didn't fall through. But the beautiful part is that it didn't falter for him. I'm not saying it faltered for the other guy. I don't know him well enough to say he's gonna also continue the journey or anything like that per se. But like, it's nice to see that David is still upholding himself and hanging in there and saying that I still have this dream, I still have this passion. This isn't the end of David. You know what I mean? So it's very refreshing to catch up with him. A man of always so much energy, and yeah, no, I'm happy that he's doing well. And honestly, like I know we're way over, but it was fine. I know I wanted to let him talk more because I wanted him to be out, like be out there, like say what you want to say and get it out there. And it's been a while since we had a guest anyway, so why not at this point. But it was a very pleasurable episode, and it was very nice to see how well he's doing. And I mean, yeah, that's Motivation Station in a nutshell, right? We bring people here. I love the fact that he is so passionate about wanting to help people, and like, a lot of that I see in myself as well. Like, it was like the main reason I started Motivation Station as well, was to uplift people, help people get to the dreams that they want to achieve. And if there's anything we can directly participate in his succession, of course we'll do it in a heartbeat, right? So it was very nice to see him again, and I'd love to just have him in general, just to chit chat. I do want to say this much for the chat. So I know that you guys are sometimes not seeing the chat. There might be delays on the on-screen chat, but I see the chat on my app. So I think there's a sync issue with the chat appearing on our podcast versus the chat coming up on my podcast app. So I'll see if I can try to fix that, because Gina, like one of the messages you sent like didn't come through, and even Morgan's last message. Do you see Morgan's last message or no?
Yes, I see.
So
I see
so it shows up
YouTube.
You see it on YouTube, but not
that
on our
happens
chat.
a lot with me. Yeah, she was talking about the touristy area, and she meets people all the time, which is amazing. And I see Gina said it helped me to grow to realize my mistake and transgression. Your chat is keeping posts. So I see the chat, the full-blown chat on YouTube app.
Yeah, it's a screen chat. It's
I don't know if anything.
So
it's like it's like a live chat. I don't know if anything was skipped.
No. So no, it's not that. So what I'm trying to say is the chat that's on the screen of our podcast is the one there's something wrong with that. YouTube is picking up the chat just fine. That's why you see the chat at the bottom there. That's why they probably see the chat at the bottom there. They don't see it on screen. Do you remember that one time when we had that one inappropriate guest that wrote something? It didn't show up on the YouTube chat, but it filtered through onto the on-screen chat somehow. Remember? So I gotta figure out why. I might just reset the chat or use a different chat bot to fix that, but that's fine. We'll figure that out at a later point.
Yes.
But anyway.
Yes, and Streamlabs was saying hello today too. So
it was still on. I completely turned it off. I don't need the Streamlabs chat. I just need the YouTube chat to work on my podcast.
Yes, I got you. Yeah. I got you. We're gonna be fine. Yes.
Yeah. No, it's because right now they're both. Gina said a few things. Morgan said a few things, and it was like a paragraph long accordingly to chat, and it went through. They didn't get threatened by the bot anymore. But that's fixed. So that's that. Step at a time. Next week we're gonna see one of the bigger improvements that I'm looking forward to, that I'm hoping will be done by the beginning of the week. But honestly, this was a fantastic, fun episode. It was, like I said, it was nice to see David again. I'll definitely try to catch him in person. Now I'm trying to make more of an effort.
Thank you for the chat, guys.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of the chat and participating and talking, and not even just talking, just being here, And I know that, a lot of you have been spreading the word of Motivation Station. Now Rose has the beautiful hoodie. I have the beautiful hoodie. We have the little mugs here. We're gonna make a little bit more. Gina actually asked me directly. So Gina, I'm gonna make a special one for you. That's a zip up hoodie for her, just specifically for her, that I will make. So that she has something to wear. Have some stuff for Morgan and things like that. I'm not making merch to make merch to sell. I'm just making merch so you guys have a little bit of love from us, because we appreciate the time, effort, subscriptions, stuff like that. I'm sure, once I master the template and master the art, we'll work on, the stuff from there. But we do appreciate you guys being a part of our podcast always. It was fun seeing old faces. It was fun to be able to talk for almost 2 hours here now, and next week it's just another week, another story to share, right? So we look forward to seeing you guys then. Rose, I'll let you go ahead and say your spiel and close it out here.
My spiel is thank you so much for being here, liking, sharing, commenting, listening us to Spotify every Sunday, listening us and being here in the presence every Saturday at 11 a.m. and of course tuning in to our previous episodes. You can always check back and look back. They're so amazing and so great. You can always find motivation or motivation station for motivation. We really, really appreciate every single one of you from the bottom of our hearts. We love you and we cannot wait to see you again.
I think the funniest part to all this is literally. Did you switch audio? Can you hear me? Switch audio. Do you hear me though? Your last line literally cut out because your headset just died. So good timing. I don't. Are you still muted? I think you're still muted. I think you're still muted. I don't, yeah. Do you hear me? It's fine. It's fine. Just wave bye. Just say bye. Yeah. All right. And we'll see you guys next week. So until then, cheers. Yeah. So she's already on mark. Cheers to you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Have a motivated day. Take care.